Welcome to this channel. Today we are going to look at Excel errors, the common Excel errors that we face when we're doing Excel work. There are 6 of them that I've come across. There could be more, but these are the most common. There's the hash error, hash div error, hash ref error, name error, value error, and the hash error. So briefly, the NA error normally occurs when you're using VLOOKUP and we are looking up a value and we don't find that value where we are looking it up. We are likely to get an hash NA error. Then the hash div error, this one normally occurs when we are dividing a number by 0. Then hash reference, it occurs when we have a formula referencing to a value that does not exist. Maybe it has been deleted or for some value. Then the hash name error, this one occurs when we name a formula incorrectly. We get the hash name error. Hash value error, maybe the formula, this occurs when the formula is expecting a value but it is getting a text value, a data type of text value. Then the hash error, we shall also look at that. Now, let's get started with the NA error. So I have a data set here which has names, total cost, unit cost, and the quantity here. Then I'm interested in looking up these values in here and then returning the unit cost. Okay? So I can use the VLOOKUP. If I do VLOOKUP, the value I'm looking up is this one here. Where am I looking up? In this. When I get it, which column should I return? Maybe 1, 2, 3. Column 3, I want an exact match. If you don't know how to use the VLOOKUP function, I've done a video on VLOOKUP. I can leave the link in the video below for further reference. So if I look up a value, then let me lock this here. F4, F4. So when I look up the unit cost for A, I get 2,000. Come here, A unit cost is 2,000. If I copy this down, I get the NA error. So this NA error occurs because it is looking up for G. Looking for G here, it doesn't see G. So when it doesn't see G, it returns NA. It looks up Y in this here, doesn't find Y, it returns NA. So this NA occurs when we look up a value and we cannot find it. So the main issue here is you need to understand why the error is occurring and how do we manage the error. That's most important. So to manage this error, there are different ways of doing it. One, you can use the if error. Then this is the value. The first argument is the value. Then the next, if there's an error, what do we want to return? We can say return 0, like so, and you copy it down. So the error goes away. So the other way to do it, you can say, maybe you want something very exact, you say not found. Like so, hold down. So it is saying when I look for this, it returns not found. When I look for this, it returns not found. So you can choose a way how you can, what return value to be given if there is an error. The other way of handling such an error, if you don't use the if error function, if I go back to where I was here, pull this down, I can use the if function. Then I say, or I can use the if NA. There's the if NA function. This handles specifically NA errors. So we are saying if that error is there, what do we say? Not found, like so. Then copy this down. So you can use the if error, or you can use if NA. In other words, you tell Excel what it should return if it does not find this value. So this is the hash NA error, and this is how you can handle it. The next is the N hash div error. The next is the hash div error. Now this hash div error occurs when we divide a number by 0. For example, I have total cost here. I divide it by the unit cost. I want to get the quantity. Drag this down. You see, when I have 0 here, empty spaces are treated as 0 by Excel. So when it tries to divide this by 0, it gives the div hash div error. Divides this by 0, it gives the hash div error. So the way to handle it, it's not good to come and say, okay, delete this. No, this is not good, because next time if you have a value here, you come here and fail to calculate the answer. So the best way to handle it is to use the if error. If there is an error, comma, put the formula there, then comma, if error. What do you want it to do? Say maybe not divisible, or maybe 0. Whatever you want, you type there and drag down. So as you can see here, there is an error here. Instead of returning the div error, it is returning 0. So this is how you can handle the hash div error. The next is the reference error. Now this error occurs when we try to reference, it tries to get a reference to a value, but that value does not exist. We end up with the ref error. So we have data set here, we have quantity, unit cost, and I'm multiplying these two to get the total cost. D times C, we get this. So if I come here and I delete this column, there you go. You get the ref error. So it is trying to multiply by a cell in a column that does not exist. So when you see this error, what should come to mind? What should come to mind is that either you have deleted a column, so you need to see how to bring it back. Some of these errors are important because they highlight to you errors or mistakes that have occurred. So by mistake, maybe you have deleted a column. So you need to see how to bring back that column, retype it, or you can control undo if you have not saved. Now, that is how you can handle the hash ref error. Find out, know that the hash ref is trying to refer to a cell which is not in existence. It's not in existence because it has been deleted or for some other reason. The other reason where you can have the hash ref error, if I copy this and I come and my formulas and paste them here, Ctrl V, you also get the hash ref error. Why do we get this? We get this because it is trying to multiply A10 with a reference which does not exist. Again, we get the hash ref error. So know why the error is occurring. After knowing how the error is occurring, look for the best possible solution for the error. Next is the name error. Now this name error occurs when we name a function wrongly. For example, in an earlier video, I showed you how to use the sum product function where we get this array multiplied by this array. So I do that, it multiplies these two, adds the multiplication of these two, adds the multiplication of these two, and it gives me this. But if in error, instead of writing sum product, I came and wrote product sum, what happens? I get the hash name error. So the hash name error means that you have misspelled the formula that you're using. So the moment you see hash name error, know that the formula is misspelled. And if you know that the formula is misspelled, then you can come here and correct it to the right value. So hash name occurs when you misspell a formula. Next is the value error, hash value error. So if I have these two here, quantity and unit cost, and I multiply these two values, I get that. You'll notice that where I have 0, I have a blank, Excel takes it as a 0. So it says this value times 0, we get 0. This value times 0, we get 0. And you get this. However, if by some mistake I come and type here a letter, hash value error occurs. Or I type anywhere a letter or a text, hash value error occurs. So the hash value error occurs because Excel in this formula, it is expecting a number, but it is getting a text, and the text cannot be multiplied. So we end up in an error of hash value. So what it is telling you that the value in one of these cells is not what Excel is expecting. So if you know that, go and put the values it's expecting, and the error will go away like how I'm doing. Next is the hash. If you see continuous hashes like this, you know that the values are too long and are not fitting in this cell. So instead of not showing you anything, it shows you hashes. The easier way of correcting this is to come here and drag, or to double click on, hover your cursor here, it brings across, double click on it, then the column expands and the error goes away. Those are the 6 common errors and how you need to understand them and know how to correct them such that they don't occur to you again. That's all I have for you today. Please subscribe, share, and watch again. Have a great day.